And welcome everybody back to the Freedom Network. Glad you joined us for yet another exciting hour of topical topics, straight talk, facts, and lots of research and stuff that we can find. The Freedom Network, that's what it's about. It's about us out there, online, in newspapers, all over the place, watching TV, not just right wing, not just left wing, but everything, and trying to get reality. And boy, it's tough to do. It really is tough to do. Don't forget that you can email us at timorgary@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and follow us on Twitter at the Freedom Network. We'll post all that stuff for you so you can get connected to us. We enjoy getting the emails. We've continued to get them. We want to get more. We're actually building up a small library of them, and we'll be able to get you guys a feature where we'll actually be able to share some of those with you. It's interesting. On my ride in to film the show today here at the very nice studios here in Stoughton, I was listening to the news, and we have a lot to talk about today. And this may be another one of those times where this will have to air in two segments. Some of the stuff that we talk about here on the Freedom Network, you just can't get through it in 60 minutes. So when we need to dive in deeper, that's what we do. We don't worry about time and all that kind of stuff. What we do is we get the message out, and as long as it takes is what it takes. So we're going to talk about do as I say, not as I do. We're going to talk about John Kerry. We're going to talk about Al Gore. Maybe we'll give Obama a break today. Maybe we won't, but maybe we will. We were pretty thorough with him, I think, on our last program. But you never know. There's so much that goes on in the news with him. But in the news, I'm coming in, and I'm hearing about the Supreme Court and the gay marriage issue. And I find it very, very interesting. Like I've always told you, folks, on the Freedom Network, what we do, or what I do, is I speak from here with as much as I can get in basis of facts. Sometimes they're very smeared and tough to figure out what they are. And also that you get a good, honest feeling. I'm not a shill for anybody but America. I'm a shill for this flag. I'm a shill for the Constitution, but not for any particular party. Because to be honest with you, we've talked about it before, there's issues on both sides. I just find there's a whole lot more issues on the left side. But that said, the gay marriage issue is one that I find very interesting. First of all, with all that's going on, okay, with the country and the state that the country is in, the question begs, is this something we should be dealing with? Is this something that should be occupying all of our time? And the reason I say that is because the vested interest of government in defining marriage and who can and who can't get married, to me, is ridiculous. There is no role with the government, the courts, or any of that. Marriage is a religious thing, okay? It comes from religion. The government has simply attached to that all kinds of, there's benefits and tax advantages, and almost an aura of accomplishment or success or whatever those kind of things are that society puts on it as well. So you've got this entity of marriage that comes from religion, has been adopted by people. I mean, we certainly don't follow all the same ways and customs as they would have in the Old or New Testaments, for that matter. But at the end of the day, there is no place for government when it comes to who somebody can marry. I don't really understand where the connection is, and that's why I have such a difficult issue with some of the social things that Republicans get behind. What's the point? My resources, tax dollars, can be far better used to help support the growth and prosperity of this country. I don't care who's sleeping with who. It's irrelevant to me. So when they talk about it, I almost don't even understand why we're having the conversation. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense when you really think about it. Dive in and think about this. If anything, it's a states' rights issue, because with the states' rights, you have the ability to at least have a direct impact on the democracy and on the people and what happens. You have an ability to make sure that what you're doing is being counted, if you will. The federal government is a lot more, it's not as tangible as your local government. Okay, you vote for your people, your neighbors do, your family does. It's a much more grassroots, if you will, type of a situation. So federally, I don't want them to have any say one way or the other. It's just a non-issue. Locally, I may buy in to that a state has the right to one way or the other. But what I don't buy into, and this is what's interesting, is any of the when they say civil rights type of things, what we believe religiously can't dictate how we govern completely. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking out there. And yes, this is a country that was founded on Judeo-Christian values. It's Old Testament, New Testament. That's what it is. That's where our laws, many of them, come from. Thou shalt not kill is certainly a law that comes from the Bible. What put killing, what made it bad? What made it bad was the Bible. That's a fact. We're the only species that I know of on the planet with a Bible that believes in that higher being. Now, I don't know that. Maybe squirrels pray often, but at the end of the day, what we have here is we have got religion and we have government. We don't want them to mix, but they are intertwined, and we can't deny that. Folks, left, right, doesn't matter. You can't deny it. Religion does play a huge part in this country, in its founding, in the laws, in the Constitution, and right up until today. So how do you separate the two becomes the big question on this very difficult, emotional, and tough issue that really polarizes people. And I'm just not so sure that it should. I don't know that it rises to a level of alarm if my neighbor is married to a guy. If I'm religious and I believe that this is wrong, then my neighbor needs to deal with that. And in the same vein, I don't pass judgment. If I'm a religious person, I'm not going to deal with that. That person's going to deal with that. A man with a man, a woman with a woman, what have you. So to me, it's meaningless. It shouldn't be in the Supreme Court. It shouldn't be about a law. If a group of people can file taxes and save money, and they're in this group, and a group over here, they can't file taxes jointly and for the same basic reasons now, because let's just face it, a man and a woman marry because they're in love. That's why they get married, right? In today's society, that's reality. It's not always to have children. In today's society, you get married because you fall in love. Well, if two guys fall in love and get married, or two girls fall in love and get married, The criteria is the same. We're splitting hairs because we want to be judge, jury, and executioner. And on religious issues, that's not our place. That's God's place. So if you're right, if this one's right or that one's right, well, hey, you know what? We'll deal with it in the afterlife. But right now, we have people out there on food stamps. We have more than ever. We have people that children that aren't finding the meals that they need. We have a government that's out of control, spending billions and trillions of dollars just that they don't have. And we're worried about whose wedding ring or that girl is really married to that girl. That's what's important. And that's what gets me so upset with the right. It gets me upset with them on the abortion issue. Again, it's morality. You don't legislate morality by issue. You have to have, you can't murder somebody. But within that, there's a whole construct of things. Well, at the top of the line, you can't discriminate against people. So if a woman marrying another woman had an adverse effect on me, citizen X, that would be a problem. But it doesn't. There is no adverse effect. What is the difference? So I don't have to struggle with that issue at all, because it's pretty cut and dry. Regardless of what you think, it doesn't matter. See, it just doesn't matter. Now, I know a lot of people, like I said, would say, wow, I mean, why would he be on that side of that issue? Folks, continue to watch the Freedom Network, and what you're going to realize is you're going to realize that I'm on a lot of sides of all issues. 99.99999% of the time, the side I'm going to be on is the Constitution, people's rights, states' rights, smaller governments. That's the side I'm on. Did I like George Bush because he wanted to spend $500 billion on a bailout? No, I didn't like that at all. Did I like that Ronald Reagan had us spent in a huge deficit and in huge debt? I can look at the pie charts right here. I do all the time. I didn't like that either. But, you know, it's not an all or nothing game in politics. And that's what's so important, is that we get so polarized into one thing. This is my issue. I'm about gay marriage or abortion or this or that. And then everything else becomes irrelevant. The problem is that you're never going to find somebody you completely agree with unless you get out there and run. So go and run, and you'll agree 100% of the time. But if you don't go out and run, you're going to have to find someone that you agree with 51% of the time, I would say, would be a minimum. And hopefully you're not voting the lesser two evils, which is what we do too often in this country. One of the reasons we do that is because of the whole campaign system, but that's a topic for another show. But so when it comes right down to it, as I switch from station to station to station, AM, FM, everybody's talking about this. Now, by the time you see this, I don't know, they may have already said something. One of the things that the Supreme Court is talking about is the fact that they don't even know if they should be hearing the case in the first place. And I understand if you're for gay marriage, you want the Supreme Court to come down and say, this is what it is. You can't have it the way it is, and bah, done. If you're against gay marriage, you want the Supreme Court to come down and say the same thing, just the other way. I invite you to explore the opportunity for the Supreme Court maybe doing nothing, because I have a 50-50 chance. I'm not too convinced that they're going to do anything. And one of the reasons for that is because I don't know if they think it is their place. Now, the fact of the matter is that because of the way that it's brought to the court, that it's discriminatory, it's a violation of constitutional rights and this and that, to not allow this girl or this guy to marry this girl or this guy, they're going to have to do something. So there will be an opinion. It will carry weight. I don't see it going any way except pro-gay marriage. I don't care what court you put it in. I don't care if you put it in the court of public opinion. It still doesn't matter, because it's, again, a non-issue. Of course, why wouldn't they have the same benefits? Why wouldn't they? I mean, a minority coming from wherever, you pick it, okay, from Ghana. They come, they become a citizen, they're a citizen, they have all the same rights. And they should, as should any citizen that lives here. I married a wonderful woman. I was very lucky, okay? Very lucky. But if somebody else finds a guy and that's who they want to marry, what the hell do I care? Why? I don't care. I have so many more important things to worry about in my day than who's sleeping with who. And the fact that our government is stuck on these type of issues is why we have sequester and this and that. That's why we have all this stuff. That's what it is. So that's my feeling. I want to hear from you about your feelings, timorgary@gmail.com. I want to know what you think and what you think about the issue. We're going to turn up the temperature a little bit. Again, I don't want to make light of the issue. To me, it's just not an issue. What's the problem? Why does it take all this? And the media's running around it, and everybody's running around it. And the problem is that we're distracted from the real issues that we have in America today. This isn't an issue. This is a no-brainer. Move on. Somebody got it to where it is, rule on it, and move on. We're going to get a decision in June? What do they do at the Supreme Court? Why does it take so long? What kind of things can we streamline there, talk about saving money in government? It's unbelievable. All right, we're going to move on. Before we move on, I want you to take a look at some clips. We're going to show you John Kerry, all right? And just some stuff that he talks about. Just random things that he talks about, just so you can get a feel for who I'm talking about. So check this out. We'll be right back.
Someone to actually make a difference in my generation. That's what Obama's about. Unity to this country and changing America's face to the world.
Obama, Obama,
Obama representa cambio y representa esperanza.
Obama.
Obama, Obama, Obama.
This is my America. Which party currently controls Congress?
Currently, like, I don't know, actually.
The Republicans.
Republicans.
Republican.
The Republicans
Yes.
control Congress?
Yes.
Probably Republican because the president's Republican. That's my honest answer.
I think it's Republicans are controlling it now, I believe.
What, the Republicans?
Which political party currently controls Congress?
I don't
You don't know?
know.
Do you know who Barney Frank is?
No.
How about Nancy Pelosi?
No.
How about Harry Reid?
I've heard that name, but I don't know who that is.
What do you think of Barney Frank?
I have no idea who that is.
Nancy Pelosi?
She's pretty cool.
Harry Reid?
I don't know who that is.
What do you think of Barney Frank?
I don't know him.
I don't know who Barney Frank is.
What do you think of Harry Reid?
Don't really know Harry Reid.
I don't know Barney Frank.
What do you think of Nancy Pelosi?
I only know the name. I don't know the face.
What do you know about Harry Reid?
Nothing.
What do you think of Barney Frank?
Who?
Harry Reid.
Don't know that person.
What do you think of Harry Reid?
Who is Harry Reid?
Barney Frank. Don't know him.
What do you think of Barney Frank?
I never heard of that person. Who is he?
He's a congressman. How about
Okay.
Nancy Pelosi?
I never heard of her.
What do you think of her?
I think she's a fair lady.
Do you know if she's a Democrat or Republican?
No, I can't say that. I don't know for sure.
How about Harry Reid?
Haven't heard of him.
And what do you think of Barney Frank?
I don't really know him.
How about Nancy Pelosi?
Don't know her either.
Harry Reid?
Don't know him either.
Which of those people wore clothes that their party spent $150,000 on?
Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin again.
Which wore clothes that their political party spent $150,000 on?
Sarah Palin, I think.
Which of the four has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin.
Which wore clothes that their party spent $150,000 on?
Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Sarah Palin.
Which of the four candidates has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin.
Which wore clothes that their political party spent $150,000 on?
Sarah Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Sarah Palin.
Which of the four has worn clothes that their political party has spent $150,000 on?
Palin. Sarah Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Sarah Palin.
Which has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Sarah Palin.
Which of the four has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin.
Which of the four wore clothes that their party spent $150,000 on?
Palin.
Which of the four wore clothes that their party spent $150,000 on?
I know that was Palin. They made a big deal about that. But you gotta look pretty, right?
Which of the four has a pregnant teenage daughter?
That was Palin.
Which of the candidates has a pregnant teenage daughter?
Palin.
They're our next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
And I can see Russia from my house.
Which said that they could see Russia from their home?
Oh, that would be Palin.
That woman, Sarah Palin.
Palin.
Oh, Sarah Palin.
Palin.
Palin. Sarah Palin. I can't think of her name right now.
Sarah Palin?
Sarah Palin. There we go.
Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin.
Palin.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go.
Which claim to have campaigned in 57 states?
Sarah Palin? I don't know.
57 states? Probably Sarah Palin.
I have no idea. 57 states. I have no idea.
I don't know. Is that Palin? 57. I don't know. Sarah Palin.
57 states. That sounds like something Sarah Palin would say.
McCain. I'd put that on Palin. McCain.
Which won their first election by getting their three opponents from their own party kicked off the ballot?
I don't know. That sounds like something Sarah Palin would do, but I don't know.
Sarah Palin?
Oh my God. I don't know. Who?
Obama.
Are you serious? Wow.
Huh. Sarah Palin.
Oh, was that McCain?
I don't have a record of that.
That probably had to be McKay.
Mark my words. It will not be 6 months before the world tests Barack Obama like they did John Kennedy.
Which said that Obama would be tested in his first 6 months by an international crisis?
I don't know.
McCain.
I don't know.
McCain.
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 Which had to quit a past presidential campaign because he was found to have plagiarized a speech?
Probably McCain.
Wow. I don't know, but that's exciting. Who?
Joe Biden.
Are you serious? Shut up.
Don't know that one.
Which, no, I don't know.
It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum.
Which said that his policies would bankrupt the coal industry and make energy prices skyrocket?
I don't know.
Maybe Biden. He has a way of putting his foot in his mouth.
I heard that. I haven't really looked into that one, but it did make headlines.
Did you find that troubling?
I don't have a lot of trust in the media to know where that was coming from.
McCain.
McCain.
I think McCain.
McCain.
And I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
Which said that the government should redistribute the wealth?
I don't know.
So you agree that government should redistribute the wealth?
Yeah.
Redistribute the wealth. I like it. From what I know about it, which might not even be the right thing, I like it.
Should redistribute wealth? I don't know. It sounds like a good thing, but.
What do you think of Bill Ayers?
Oh, I don't know who he is.
You don't know who Bill Ayers
No,
is?
I don't.
What do you think of Bill Ayers?
I don't too much know anything about him.
Bill Ayers? I don't know.
A washed up terrorist.
I don't know Bill Ayers.
Do you want to see again?
What do you think of Bill Ayers?
No, I don't know him.
Have you heard about Bill Ayers?
Yes, but I don't know the details.
Where do you get most of your information?
NPR and PBS.
So where do you get your information from?
Mostly from the news medium.
What kind of news medium?
TV, CNN. Bill Maher is a great one.
I don't watch a lot of media. Yeah. So who do you like to get your news from?
I don't have a TV, so, you know, I read the New York Times, but BBC, I guess, if I watch TV, or like CNN, maybe.
Do you like MSNBC?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Jon Stewart.
You get your news from Jon Stewart sometimes?
And Colbert Report. I think I'm not as informed as I thought I was, but I still don't think I would change my vote.
Obama.
This is my America. Your America.
Welcome back to the Savage Nation. Phone number here is 855-400-7282. I know it's a throwaway night for most people in radio. People are just saying jingle bells, but here you have a new Secretary of State appointed named John Kerry. They turn their backs, their posteriors, on the world and walk out without taking a single question. The president dashes off to a surfing vacation in Hawaii. We don't hear one word from the press saying, what are you going to do about the attacks upon Christians in Egypt? Explain how you're going to get the Islamists under control. Not one word. Incidentally, talking about taxes, Mrs. Kerry, Teresa Heinz Kerry, has an estimated net worth between $750 million and $1.2 billion. And according to her most recently released income tax of 2003, Kerry and Heinz paid an effective federal income tax rate of 12%. I'll repeat that. They want you to pay more taxes, but they pay the combined effective federal income tax rate of 12%, which is approximately what the income tax rate is in Russia, which makes sense. A flat tax of 13% is what the Russians pay, and somehow their economy is doing better than ours is. Don't explain that to the leftists who have everything wrong, virtually everything wrong. Just remember what I said to you. Mrs. Kerry and Mr. Kerry, according to the 2003 income tax disclosures, paid an effective federal income tax rate of 12%, while calling for you to pay upwards of 55% in the state of California, possibly in New York. It's around
John Kerry. You know, we here in this part of the country know a lot about John Kerry, and they're going to learn a lot about John Kerry as he really hits that national stage again. We all remember his... You know, John Kerry's an interesting guy, and I was going to go right into it, but I'm going to stop myself. And I'm going to say, you know, I mean, this is a guy, okay, that nobly fought in a war, nominated himself to get a Purple Heart, which his commanding officer said was disgusting. We have the quote. It's in there somewhere. It's in the stack. Don't worry. Came home, threw his medals over the wall, over the fence there. But then we learned that it wasn't his medals maybe at all, or maybe they were. Here's Obama. We know how much he loves America. We know that. I mean, look at the church he sat in for how many years, right? Reverend Wright. We know about you, Obama. And he surrounds himself with people that are just like this. John Kerry has a clear disdain for the United States of America. It's clear. So let's send him out there and make him the Secretary of State. Hey, what a great idea. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Personally, here we go. We're going to run him down a little bit, okay? Worth $194 million himself, all right? He preaches about understanding everyday Americans. That's a quote. I found it. Everyday Americans, regular Americans, middle-class Americans, 5,000 times if you want to go on your computer and you can see him saying that. With his wife, Teresa Hines, their net worth jumps up to what, 700, hers about 750 million. So together they're worth just about a cool $1 billion, I guess. So this is a guy that I would think could absolutely, positively identify with everyday Americans. I mean, I am sure that he can identify with everyday Americans. Right. So I think of John Kerry. Yeah, he kind of reminds me either of like, remember the show with Lurch in it? He's got that look, and he's hunched over a little bit. You know, he's a pretty big guy. But he also so does remind you of Thurston Howell III. Do you remember Gilligan's Island? Do you remember him? Well, I mean, probably not his politics, but how about just the look and the way he talks? And you can see him calling Teresa, Lovey, 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 they're making fun of me on the Freedom Network, Lovey. You know, all that kind of stuff. I can see it. I can see it happening. Because I look at him like a big baby. But we're trying to say, do as I say, not as I do. So now you got an idea about his keen ability to identify with the middle class, with poor people, with working people. He's going to roll his sleeves up. I mean, he's going to jump right in. Remember when he was up north, can I get me a hunting license here? I mean, who the heck does this guy think he's fooling? He is the 1%. He is the elite. He rails against himself. That's how stupid this guy is. He's got yachts. He's got homes. Oh, he's got homes. In Pennsylvania, he's got a $3.7 million everyman home. In Idaho, he's got a $5 million everyman home. In Washington, D.C., he's up at $4.7 million in his everyday home. Nantucket, almost a $10 million everyday home. I mean, we all have one of those, don't we? I mean, this guy can identify with me because I have the same problems, beach erosion and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I worry about that stuff, you know. Boston, $7 million, just about $6.9 million. He sold his estate to George Clooney just before running for president, when he ran for president. That was about $7.8 million. They say that he may have other holdings outside of the country, but we don't know. Most of them list as today's homes. So he doesn't have to list them as his homes. Are we that stupid that works? If you're surprised about that list, then yeah, we are that stupid. Very successful. Why does he want to shy away from it? Why does he want to shy away from it? A guy with $1 billion, can he identify with you? How come he can identify with you, I would say, to the media or to himself or to any of these people? Why can he identify with you, but Romney couldn't? Why? The issue isn't his money, but his consistent preaching of understanding me when we can see he has no idea from the lifestyle that he leads. They're all doing it. Joe Biden just spent $500,000 on a meal or some such thing out in another country. That's what it cost us, for him to have a meal with somebody. Really? He's a spoiled brat. That's what John Kerry is. He's a spoiled brat. He wants me and you to pay more in taxes, but he does whatever he can to avoid them. In 2010, his effective tax rate was 13%. Did we hear anything about that? That's a full percentage point less than Romney, people. 0.9 something less than Romney. Romney was vilified. Rich, out of touch, no good, blah, blah, blah. Why don't we hear these stories about John Kerry during his nominating process? Why didn't we hear them during his presidential run? Because the media is in bed with him. You'll get it on the Freedom Network. You ain't going to get it anywhere else. I'm going to tell you something. The media, is so bad and so overt in their desire to cover up what these people do. It's so biased. You almost don't even know how to handle it. You know what I mean? So let's look at a few things here. Get my stuff together. I pulled a lot of this stuff offline, okay? And from many different areas. As always, you can email me, timagary@gmail.com. I will source out anything that you want. I keep everything. I know exactly where every fact and figure has come from. And if you want to challenge it, I'll tell you where it came from, and we can work it out together. It's an open book, folks. Massachusetts Senator John Kerry. All right. Storm of controversy, okay? He rejected all the normal everyman way of doing things, which would be to, you know, if I was going to, because I'm an everyman, and you're an everyman. I mean, I buy yachts all the time. Don't you buy yachts? I mean, I do, because he's the everyman. This is who he is. This is who the media wants us to think that Lurch or Thurston Howell III is. He's an elite, is who he is. Registered his new yacht in Rhode Island, not in Massachusetts. Could have saved him about $500,000 in taxes. Boston Herald had reported on this initially, saying that the Democratic senator's decision to register his boat out of state may have been to skip out on paying Massachusetts taxes. I can't believe that he would do this. I mean, this is a man of the people. This is a guy that knows me and that understands how I live. Isn't it? I mean, we would all do the same thing. The Globe reports, according to Massachusetts Department of Revenue, the state's tax code stipulates that if a resident purchases property, and that would include a yacht, out of state and then keeps it there for 6 months, the state will not impose its sales tax on that item. This means the senator could stand to avoid $437,000 one-time sales tax and $70,000 in annual excise taxes. As John Kerry came up through the ranks in good old Massachusetts, how many times do you think John Kerry voted to increase taxes? How many times do you think John Kerry has voted to increase your taxes because you're a Massachusetts resident from the day that he decided to get into politics until today? How much? I'm not going to tell you. It's here, and I'm not going to tell you, because the point of the Freedom Network is that you have to get involved. You need to get on this computer. You need to get out to the library. You need to get out and buy newspapers and become informed. You want to fix the country, you got to know what it's all about. You got to know who the players are. Kerry says that the decision was not made for tax purposes, but simply because the boat is undergoing maintenance in Rhode Island. Well, that's great, Mr. Kerry, because now not only have I learned that you want to and support taxes for me that you don't support for yourself, you don't want to support businesses in the state that you come from or that you represent. You're a senator for Massachusetts. You telling me there's not a company in Massachusetts that could do these repairs to your vessel? No one around here can make that happen for you? You're going to outsource that? I thought you're all about the community and the people and the everyman. You're so full of it. I wish I had you right here to ask you so I could see the look on your face as you try to weasel out of the answer. Why would you do that, John? Lovey, they're doing it again on the Freedom Network. Give me a break, man. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind because maybe you're not out of your mind because we buy it, don't we? We just keep reelecting you. Look at you, you've risen right through. I mean, you're the Secretary of State for the United States of America. The guy that threw his medals over the wall. He's the guy. He's the man. He's going to go out there and he's going to represent our interests, the everyman interests. I wonder if he's going to take his yacht when he goes. He spoke with reporters. He said it's under warranty down there, and it's being worked on, and it will come to Massachusetts, and I look forward to that. He didn't specify when that would be. All right, two more questions. How much you want to bet? A, it'll be after 6 months, okay? And B, again, so you didn't buy it here. If it's under warranty there, I'm assuming that you must have bought it there. Or is the only place in New England that this work can be done in Rhode Island? And you know what, John? John, if it is, I'll give you a pass on that. on bringing it there, but I will not give you a pass on registering it, buying it in the state that you live in. His spokesman also told the Globe that the senator will pay any and all taxes that he owes on the yacht. Oh, good. So when you get busted being an idiot, you'll come clean. That's good. It's a good character trait. You know, try to get away with it. Try to do the wrong thing. Somebody says something, and then say, oh, it's almost like the, you know what it's like? It's like the person that goes into the store and they steal something. Okay, and they take the socks and they put it in their pocket and they go to walk out of the store. And what happens is the detective that works for the company will come up to you, tap you on the shoulder, and say, hey, you know, idiot, come on with me. Off you go. And they always say the same thing. Oh, I'll buy it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. You're a thief. We don't even want your money. We don't want you in the store, right? But this guy, same scenario. Lovey, take the yacht down to Rhode Island. Let's have it all fixed up and get it ready for summertime fun. And she's right there, and oh yes, and let's get the maids and the butler and all these people and get them together. And what about the people for the boat? I mean, you think John Kerry's running this boat? No, he's got to have butlers walking around. People, bring me a drink, get me this, get me that. I mean, this guy is so out of touch with you. He is so, and it's not the thing that makes it bad. I'll tell you what makes it bad, is that he tells you that he's a man of the people. You don't see Donald Trump out there saying, I'm a man of the people. You know, I'm worth a ton of money, but I understand how everybody wonders, you know, how to get milk. You know what John Kerry's biggest concern is when it comes to getting milk? His biggest concern when it comes to getting milk is he probably doesn't know where to go to get it. It just shows up in the refrigerator because some aide, assistant, but I think he's got to have a butler. I mean, I got to look into this because he, of all people, should have a butler. A man of his stature, especially now as the Secretary of State, should have his own private guy with him to make sure everything's okay, you know? Whatever the Department of Revenue determines that he owes Massachusetts taxes, he will pay. He will absolutely pay any and all taxes he is found to owe. Well, that's good. We're happy that you're going to pay the taxes that you were found to owe. The question still remains, Mr. Secretary of State. You know, actions speak louder than words. You can sit and babble on and on and on and on about how you think you know what's going on and you have your finger on the pulse of the middle class and this. If you're worried about where the hell the warranty work is going to be done on your yacht, and that's what you're worried about, and then you take the time to register this yacht, and now that you called on, you register it out of state. Now that you called on it, you're going to, what, re-register it? And everybody's supposed to go, oh, he's such a good guy. He's such a good guy. Look at John Kerry. He's so good. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and he just let go of the cookie. He didn't steal it. Kerry did say in a statement to the AP this would have been, what, a couple of weeks ago, that he's informed the Mass Department of Revenue that he's promptly going to pay taxes on the yacht as though it were based in his home state. Oh, he's such a good guy. He's so good. I mean, this guy is good. When I tell you he's good, let me see, what else do I got here? Hang on a second. Yeah, he's this good. Ready? He is worth $1 billion. He's got yachts, multiple homes. I could find 5 of them, maybe more, that we don't know about. He's a guy that puts the stuff in his wife's name. He's a guy that avoids and dodges taxes. He's a guy that votes to raise your taxes. He's a guy that tried, unsuccessfully, to run for president of the United States. He's a guy that threw medals over the fence. He's a guy that had an amazing amount of people against him from the military. They had to go find people to be for him. Here's your guy. I'm in touch with the middle class. Nothing could be further from the truth. What you are is you're a lucky guy that marries well. That's what you are. That's it. Point blank. So when we look at this stuff, the yachts, the homes, his admitting that he'll pay the tax. Well, why? And this is, this is the other thing. This really, really fries me. If indeed everything that you said was true, the warranty work's got to be done here. I wanted to register it down there because you know what, quite candidly, I like the waters off of Rhode Island. It's easier access for me to get out to my private island that I have a house on, because he does. Now that I mention that, that's right. He has a house on one of the islands out in the harbor. I think he's got a house there as well. I missed that one. But this is the whole thing. This is the problem, is that he doesn't say, well, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Why? Well, because that's what I'd say. I'm not trying to avoid the taxes. This is where the boat's going to be registered. This is where it's going to be. That's what it is. I mean, what's the problem? But he doesn't. And the reason he doesn't, and that's where the problem is. That's where you got to dig down right now and figure out, why is this a problem? The problem is that it's the hypocrisy. It's the do as I say, not as I do. How do you think that Kerry would feel if everybody registered all their boats and everything out of state, and there was no more tax base coming into the state? How would he feel then? It's okay for him to do it. We see the media vilify the rich day in and day out, especially whenever there's a campaign or anything like that going on. Why not these guys? Huh? We're going to talk about Al Gore, but it's going to bleed into our next show. But tell me, Warren Buffett, how much you paying in taxes, buddy? Do you send any extra money? Do you practice what you preach? Hollywood, glorifying violence. They're going after video games. They're going after video games because there's no big left elite in the video game world, not a big enough group of them. So why don't they go after Hollywood? Why don't they go after some of their golden children in Hollywood? I'll tell you why. Money, honey. But the whole thing with the shootings and the gun control and this and that, and we're going to blame this, we'll blame that, we're going to blame video games are the culprit. How about the movies that get put out by these left-wing people? How about those? How about that ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN? How about those? No problem? Or is that the fifth story? Or the 8th page? What is that? I tell you, as I sit here behind the flag that represents the greatest country in America, with this type of stewardship, we will go down. With this type of stewardship, we're going to go down. It's going to happen. So I sit here and I decide, maybe I don't like John Kerry anymore. Okay, so now maybe you don't like John Kerry anymore. There's nothing you can do about it, because the problem is you've done the damage. You've done the damage. You've made it happen. Now he's the Secretary of State. I mean, this is a guy that's lived his whole life on the dole. Pretty much his whole adult life. Comes back from the war, starts marrying into money, and the rest is history. So the problems are not what people do all the time. Because if you believe in something or you think something should be a certain way, then do it. But don't then hide back behind it and release your spokesman. Lovey, get the spokesman. Get our spokesman. Get the butler. Get somebody. Fire up the yacht. I don't know. Do something. They're picking on me. Not picking on you. We're calling you out on it. It's just stupid. If you believe that that's where your yacht should be and you don't want to register it here because it's too expensive, then just say it. Just say it. That's all. So I think that at the end of the day, we've got to find these people out, we got to weed them out, we got to find the information, and we got to vote them out before they get to the appointed status. because you ain't getting rid of Kerry now. He's there. That's done. And we got an election coming up. We have an election coming up. We got debates that will already have happened by the time this gets on the air. They're actually tonight, the night that I'm filming this. We're going to talk about that. We're going to try to bring a guest or two in. We have asked, and I want to level with you here. I'm going to tell you, this is our 10th show for the Freedom Network. We have tried on many occasions between Tim and myself to get guests to come on. We have the opportunity to Skype. We might even be able to figure out the phone. And we can certainly love to have people here in studio. Not too many. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that what you're going to debate with me is nonsensical, some of the stuff that's on the other side. But as I've put on Twitter and replied on numerous emails, never will it be an attack mode. I mean, I'm gonna debate you. But when you see people here, it'll always be civil. The Freedom Network is not about ambushes. I don't want to make anyone look stupid. But the ideas in many cases can be stupid. So as we've thrown out that we want to see some people on the show, I've called a couple of colleges local in the area, and I'm going to start naming them off soon. They don't want to come and debate the issues. I've got email correspondence from people that are very good to email back. They're not coming on to debate the issues. Some of these issues are not debatable. Some are. We're going to bring you some nice shows. We've got guns coming. Yeah, we do. We're going to talk about guns. We're going to get somebody. Hopefully, we're going to try to get somebody from Gore, the Gun Owners Action League, to be here with us. We've got some feelers out there. At the end of the day, 10 shows later, if you've watched every one, I'm hoping you at least turn the computer on, go to the library and do some research if you're not a computer person. Read more newspapers. Get involved. It's ours. Guys, this is our country. It's not for John Kerry and his yachts. It's not for Obama and his destruction of our economy. It's for you. It's for me. It's for your kids. It's for my kids. 437, I think is the number. 440 elected up there, representing hundreds of millions of people. If you want to reflect back, if you want to think back on anything over the past 10 shows that we've talked about, think about freedom, your freedom, and how important it is. If you don't defend it, people, you ain't going to keep it. And how do you defend it? You don't defend it with arms. You don't need to. Yet, you don't need to. Because you got the right to vote. You've got the right to go out and vote. So when we have an election for a senator in a very short time in this state, how many people from Stoughton and the surrounding areas are going out to vote? It should be 95, 98%. We need a more active democracy to keep this flag and what it means alive for future generations. As we come to a close 10 shows later, we need to understand that freedom is not free. It's fragile. It must be defended at every corner. Whether you agree or disagree with Group X, they have the right to march. They can pray to who they want. They can marry who they want. They can do what they want. And they can do it, damn it, because they're Americans. That's why they can do it. It's okay to look at your country as great. It's okay to look at your country as a wonderful beacon in the world, because it is. This is a place you're going to find pro-America talk. This is a place where you're going to see anti-American talk challenged. Make no mistake about it, with as much passion as I can give you, that I have in the past 3 or 4 minutes here. Regardless of what you believe, you need to vote. The more people that vote, the better off we're going to be. The more people that are involved, the better off we're going to be. Armchair warriors don't win wars. Armchair warriors don't ever build a great country. They didn't build America sitting back and watching. They built it through action. So the Freedom Network asks you to take action, to take up the most powerful tool we have, more powerful than any gun, bomb, weapon of any kind, and that's democracy. It's democracy, people. Look at people like John Kerry and say, no more. Wouldn't it be interesting if we voted them all out? Oh, how cool would that be? That would be a revolution that I think the country could certainly deal with. All right, we close out number 10 on the Freedom Network. We want to thank you so much for watching. I know we did not get to Big Al Gore. We're going to get to him. We're going to focus on him for a good part of the show. I'm actually going to physically do it right now while it's all fresh in my head, and we'll air it to you just as soon as we can. Gary Rosenberg signing off from the Freedom Network. Don't forget to email Tim or Gary at gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, the Freedom Network, and we'll see you next time.